You're listening to the Morning Roast with Bonte and Shasky on 95.7 The Game.
Baldy at 7:30. Smartest man in football joins us every single Tuesday at 7:30 on the roast. Don't forget the Red Gold Roundtable was yesterday. You can go back on YouTube to find that bad boy. Kyle Madsen, David Bruce, and yours truly, Bonte Hill. We have Shasky back off of vacation as we get ready for week 1 of the NFL season. Kickoff starts Thursday between the Rams and the Bills. I'm sure Lakeford's going to send out a tweet. 3 days until football. 2 days until football. 2 days until kickoff. Well, it's 5 days until kickoff for the 49ers at Soldier Field Sunday, 10 a.m. West Coast time. Cannot wait for that game. And Chaska, I know you got some numbers coming up. But first, let me tell the folks to download the Odyssey app. 95.7 The Game, thousands of other stations and millions of podcasts are free on the Odyssey app. Sports talk, music, news, podcasts are all available completely free. Who doesn't like free? Free is me. We're all about that free 99 movement. And you can catch, get this, every single Warriors game live on the app along with all the music and news in the Bay Area needs. Follow your favorite team, station, radio shows, podcast now by downloading the free Odyssey app. And everybody's going crazy over the Warriors player rankings in 2K. Steph's the only guy in 90s. Everybody else is at 84, 83, 85, 83. So people are kind of losing their minds over that. But the champs are back later this month. Can you believe that? We got Niners football. We got Warriors coming back. What a great time to be a Bay Area sports fan. We're locked in until June.
It's a great time.
It's a great time.
It's a great time. It's not a great time out. It's just a great time to be alive.
It's a great time to be alive, especially if you're a Bay Area fan.
Absolutely. And I'm so ready for the Warriors to come back. I can't wait.
The champs.
I can't wait.
People forget they're the champs.
I saw so many people wearing just throwback Warrior jerseys on the river over the weekend. Like, dude, everywhere you go, people got the city jerseys.
The gear is hot.
It's very hot.
It's hot.
So are Niner jerseys.
So are Niner jerseys.
Because I've seen a lot of those, too.
What about Trey Lance jerseys?
Well, I mean, let's get into the number thing. So I've been thinking long and hard, and I've been listening to all the different people pontificate, Bonte, about, you know, can Trey hit a slant? Can you see the field and hit that guy over the middle?
Isn't this the most ridiculous thing ever?
We're panicking like the guy didn't do that in both games. Even the Arizona game, as bad as the game plan was, we act like he was throwing 7 hoppers into the flat.
It's embarrassing, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, there's just a lot of bad opinions about the 49ers and quarterback play right now. I mean, honestly, like, that's what it is. So
how about Peter King saying that Jimmy's going to replace Trey by week 7? I mean, is Peter King mad because Trey Lance gave him nothing during that sit-down on Monday quarterback? Is that why Peter's bitter? Because Trey Lance said, with all due respect, I don't care what you say about me. It doesn't matter.
I kind of feel similarly to Trey Lance, but here's kind of where I'm at now with all these different people. I don't care what it is, if baseball, basketball, football, whatever. From now on, like, I do feel like we play this sound of different people. Analyst X said YZ about local team. Right. They're never tapped in. Never. I mean, very rarely are these guys fully tapped in and watching in and out the way us local fans are. I am done being triggered by national sports writer, columnist, analyst X saying YZ about my teams. Fellas, I'm just done with it.
Fellas, mark the tape. Mark that tape. We'll revisit it as soon as Shasky brings up some national
Well, I'm asking
writer.
you. Like, I'm asking you.
I don't care about them anymore.
I'm not ripping Peter King. He's very tapped in. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not saying that he doesn't have people inside the building. I'm asking you, normal Niner fans, do they watch more snaps than Peter King does of their team?
I think so.
I do too.
I don't think, honestly, look, Peter King's an insider here at 95.7 The Game, does a great job with David Arado. Is he looking at the All-22 watching back Niner games? I have no idea. I'm not going to assume what he does. I don't know what he does in his off time. He is tapped in. He's been covering the league for so long. But you know what? I don't care. That's why I have a cue card of all these guys. And I will bring it back Friday. Friday, all the names will be revealed on the cue card about how Trey Lance isn't ready and how Jimmy Garoppolo being back is an indictment on Trey Lance. That's not. It's an indictment on the backup quarterback room. You really want to go into Chicago with Nate Sudfeld or Brock Purdy as your number 2 quarterback? And Trey goes down, we'll end up like 2018 all over again when Jimmy Garoppolo tore his ACL in Kansas City, and we'll end up like 2020 when we had to watch Nickel Nick, Buddy Mullins, and CJ Beathard or Bitcoin Beathard, whatever the hell you want to call him, play quarterback for the Niners. Think about 2018. October, November, December, was meaningless 49er football.
Well, except that one Seattle game in the rain.
All right, the one Seattle game in the rain.
I'm sorry.
And then they beat the
I'm ruining a better rant.
I know, but they also beat the Broncos, too. Remember that? They beat the Broncos.
I do remember that.
And then they got the number 2 pick, and they got Nick Bosa.
And people were crying about that.
People were crying about that. They were crying about that. But this is Trey's team, and, Trey, he's got to work on a short game. Did we not watch the Houston-Texas game? When the Niners, we just dismissed that game. Like it's nothing.
Well, had they lost that game, they're not in the playoffs.
They're not in the playoffs.
I mean, it's very simple.
They're done.
So I guess that brings me to my greater point. I was thinking long and hard, like what equates to a great season for Trey Lance? You're going to hear that a lot today, right? Or just this week, I think, for a lot of 49er fans. And I've been thinking, we're overthinking this whole thing. We're overthinking the whole entire thing. What do I want my quarterback on a team that is a defense-driven team who is going to run the ball? What am I asking for my quarterback?
Don't turn the ball over.
Okay.
Don't take bad sacks.
Exactly. So here's the number. I'm going to give it to you. Now, you could combine, if you wanted to, you can combine sacks and all turnovers and put together a nice round number. I would say that number would be about 50. So that's a little too confusing for most people because I don't think most people know exactly how many sacks Jimmy took last year. Do you even know how many sacks Jimmy took last year?
No, but I'm pulling it up right here. I'm pulling it up right now.
I believe.
29 sacks.
There you go, 29. I didn't even get it
29 sacks. Plus the 12 interceptions.
Plus the fumbles.
And where's the fumbles at?
So you're looking at just in his career, okay, because I'm going to give you, he has 71 total touchdowns in a Niner uniform. That's rushing and passing. That's Jimmy G. He has 63 turnovers. Okay, that breaks down for the 45 games that he's played, 1.4 turnovers per game. Now you say, Joe, is that high? Is that low? I don't know. Well, let's look at some of the other quarterbacks around the league. Mahomes is the top end.
Yeah.
He's 1 turnover a game. That's what he averages throughout his career. Yep. 151 and 37 picks, 26 in fumbles.
Now go to Josh Allen.
Okay, here's Josh Allen.
He doesn't throw picks. Not anymore.
Well, he fumbled a lot. So here you go. Josh Allen, 103 touchdowns, 46 interceptions, 39 fumbles.
Wow, over the course of his career?
Him and Jimmy G have the same amount of turnovers per game. Josh Allen and Jimmy.
Now, what about last year?
1.4. Last year, he was so much more efficient.
The last 2 years.
He was so much more efficient.
And you got to think, he was a rookie coming out of Wyoming.
Yes.
Jimmy's been in this league for a while.
Yeah, agreed. So here's what I would say, B, where I'm going, because I don't want to throw too many numbers at people. It can kind of nauseate them. Trey just needs to stay under the 20 number. And what I mean by that is combined interceptions and fumbles. I look at what Mac Jones did last year. He was the only rookie to have a winning record. He won 10 games. They lost 7. He won 10 games. He only had a very minimal stat line. 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 7 fumbles.
But they also... And it was a good season for Mac Jones.
It was a great season. But they protected him by running the ball. He did a great job evading sacks.
And solid defense.
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't throw the ball into the middle of the field recklessly.
And here's the thing. Trey's not going to throw the ball 30 to 40 times a game.
No.
Let's be real. This offense, they want to run the football and play solid defense.
Absolutely.
And solid special teams. Now, you look at Jimmy. He lost 3 fumbles last year. Actually, excuse me. Yeah, fumbles lost. He lost 3 fumbles. Mm-hmm. You combine that with the 29 sacks, and you combine that with the picks. That's the thing with Trey Lance that nobody's talking about. I don't care what level of football you play, whether it's JUCO,
thank you,
whether it's high D1, low D1, 1AA. Trey Lance didn't throw a pick in his full season at North Dakota State.
It's ridiculously impressive.
He didn't throw 1 interception, folks. Not 1 interception. That's hard to do. That is hard to go through. So we look at the preseason. Everybody's you would think that he had the worst preseason in the world. Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. After hearing all the naysayers and all the talk and, oh, my God, the Niners brought back Jimmy G because they're doubting Trey Lance. What do you think about Trey in the preseason? Even the last game against Houston, okay, he didn't make a couple throws. Yeah. Sure, hot Brennan Ayuk didn't hit Malik Turner in the numbers or what Malik Jackson was his name. Didn't hit him in the numbers. Okay, I get it. He can correct those. Malik Turner. He was 7-for-11. 0 interceptions. How many interceptable balls did he throw?
Well, that's the bigger one for me because that's the one thing about Jimmy. You talked about it a long time.
It's
not just the turnovers.
It's the Jimmy O'No throw.
Exactly. The ones that could be.
There's 3 to 5 a game.
So that's where I'm going at with Trey Lance. If he can keep this magical number, forget sacks for a second because that is a part of it, B. You can't get sacked. Part of why Justin Fields is looked at the way he is, not only was he turning the ball over and they weren't winning, he got sacked 36 times in 10 games. 36 times in 10 games.
No doubt.
So the key is 20. Can he keep the turnovers under 20 for this season? That'd be a little more than one a game.
Right.
And that is above league average.
No
and
doubt.
what I'm asking for is to protect the ball. It's not just hit this guy over the middle and make the easy play. Protect the ball. We expect a couple of pop plays, right? We do. We expect a couple of pop plays.
And that's going to be the difference.
Ball security is the number one thing for me for Trey Lance this year.
So we're looking at time of possession, right? And Kyle Shanahan, when he was coordinating the Atlanta Falcons, the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They were averaging damn near 35 points a game. It's one of the most prolific offenses we've ever seen, and nobody talks about it because they blew the 28-3 lead. But they were 17th in time of possession, which tells me that Kyle Shanahan isn't married to time of possession. He's not married to having 18-play, 80-yard drives that eats up 7 minutes off the clock. He's not married to that. He wants to chunk plays. He misses the chunk plays.
Yes.
What do you remember about that Atlanta offense? Big chunk plays.
Agreed.
Blowing people away in the Georgia Dome. Hitting Julio Jones down the field. Mohamed Sanu, Gabriel, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman out the backfield. Hooper and tight end.
Good point.
That's what Shanahan wants. Those Houston Texans team with Schaub and Andre Johnson. Area Falls. Big chunk plays. This is what Trey's going to provide that Jimmy could not. Big chunk plays. When it's time to take the top off the defense, all of a sudden the safety, he can't play like Antrell Roll against Alex Smith. We're going to say, you know what? We're going to play within the 10 to 15-yard box like the Rams in the NFC Championship game where Eric Weddle basically played linebacker.
Yeah.
And they said, we're going to stuff the run and we're going to dare you to throw the ball over our heads.
But do those two concepts, throwing the ball down the field, does that contradict ball security?
It doesn't, because Trey, I think, is safe with the ball, where he's going to throw it deep, and it's either going to be his guy catching the football, or it's going to be an incomplete pass.
Because I do worry about, we all want to stretch the field, and there's no doubt about that. And when you throw the deep one, people say, oh, well, it's like a punt. You hear that a lot on the deep ball throws.
Right. If it's on third down.
They've just got to be very selective when they decide to go deep and how they go deep. I think that's the thing that I worry about. You start airing it out, the next thing you know, you're turning it over a little too much.
No doubt. But that's the element that Trey provides that this offense has missed. Going down the field. Defenses can't just play within the 15-yard box and sit on slants and sit on comeback routes. They have to say, oh boy, we have to guard every blade of grass on this football field. With Jimmy, outside the numbers, the Lawnmowers at Levi Stadium didn't have to worry about that.
No.
They had to worry about inside the hash marks, that's it. Outside the hash marks, the grass was good. It was green as ever.
I'm just so excited to see the kid play. We all want to see the kid play. And I love that week one comes against a guy that the Niners could have drafted.
We're going to get to that in just a second, but Tyler Miller with a great point here. Preseason versus the Texans means more Bonte to a lot of people, which is sad.
Then the game he played.
The game that he played against the Texans where they had to win it to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Well, and the funny thing is that everybody dismissed the Texans last year when they actually held Herbert to his lowest passer rating all year, and they played spoiler down the stretch.
And I told you this.
I know.
They were playing some good ball.
You were right.
Because NFL players that are on the Texans, first of all, they go to Levi Stadium and play the Niners. That's their Super Bowl, number one. Number two, guys got to put good tape. They got to go out there and put good tape out there because their jobs are on the line. Guys, you're going to have a coaching change. You're saying, man, I'm a free agent. I'm playing with the Texans. I need to ball out here.
Yeah,
I didn't make sure that I have a career in the NFL, so nobody's taking plays off or days off like that. So we just dismissed that, and yet we want to hype up week 3 of the preseason where there's no game plan, there's no Trent Williams, and we play Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle for 2 possessions. A little ridiculous.
It is, and I know you want to get into Kittle. We can get at him in a second, but like the number one thing I keep coming back to with Jimmy G, because you look at these numbers, you're like 71 total touchdowns and 63 turnovers in 45 games. Like, that doesn't seem that efficient. But then you look, and it's like 31-14 is his record. He's 31-14 as a starter for the 49ers, right? So as much as we could obsess about turnovers and this and that, somehow, some way, Jimmy found ways to win games. You could say it's the defense. You could say it's the offense. You could say it's a little bit of both. Look, he's a winner. And I do think ultimately, regardless of what the stats are, the deep balls, how many turnovers Trey has, he has to win games. And it feels really difficult because I'm looking at these other rookies. Trevor Lawrence, 3-14. Justin Fields, 2-8. Zach Wilson, 3-10. The only guy with a winning record was Mac Jones at 10-7.
So here's
of the rookies.
And it's taken me a long time to come around this way. By the way,